Twice I've applied for visa for my mom and my mother-in-law, and they all came out successful. Today I just want to talk about applying for someone who doesn't own a business, who is not a civil servant, who does not have any, maybe, when you're struggling to find a family tie for the person. For my mom particularly, it was a bit of concern for me, so I had to do a lot of research, and at the end of the day it came out successful. So part of the research I did, I know I saw online, so sharing this, I know it will help somebody, because I saw that some of the questions I asked during my time is that, what am I going to use for my mom whose husband is late, who does not own a business and was never a civil servant? Like, what, she has always been dependent on us, and I wanted her to come and stay for Mugo. So what did I do? What I did is that I got my siblings to write a letter stating that they were aware that she was traveling to the UK to see me for Mugo. And three of my siblings wrote that letter. They added their birth certificate, and they added their passport data page. Some added their business certificates to it as well. And then the house where my mom lived, which was built with her and her husband, and the surrounding, because there was still some space left. I got the document for that land and that building, and I merged it as one PDF and added it to her application. So with that, I think, and then I added a family picture showing all the times we were back home in Nigeria, the time we did some occasion like our traditional marriage, even some of my siblings' traditional marriage. So I used that as a strong family tie. So I will mention the other documents that I used, maybe from my part and that of my husband, for our invitation. But today, I'm just concerned about, for somebody, because I searched and searched for videos of people who have applied for people who do not own a business, who are not civil servants, and and her husband was also late. So if her husband was alive, I could use her husband as a strong family tie, that she has, her husband at home. So but I didn't have much, so I started researching what was I going to do. And today this is what I did. So by the time I merged the document of that her house and the land, or where the house is, with the letter that was written by three of my siblings stating that they were aware of our travel plans, and they also gifted us some money. Two of my siblings gifted her some money, so they added it in that letter that they gifted her some money to support her travel. So with that and the family picture, I added those evidence, those documents. I merged them as a PDF and added them as a supporting document to her application. So if you're there and your mom does not, or your father does not own a business, is not a retiree, maybe one of their parents that is not even around anymore, and you're wondering what are you going to use as a family tie, get your siblings to write a letter. Get them to either gift her some money to her account, which by the time you print the statement of account, it will show. Then let them write a letter, put their birth certificate, attach their birth certificate to that letter, to show that they actually her children, and that they are aware that she's planning on traveling. With that, it shows that she has children left back home as well. Actually, we are seven in my house, and three out of those three siblings wrote a letter to support the application. So, and I believe this is going to help somebody who is still wondering how she will prove some kind of family tie for either of their parents to come out. And if you're lucky, two of your parents are still alive, then your father or your mother can write a letter, assuming you're bringing just one person, can write a letter of consent, because that's what I did in the time I applied for my mother-in-law, whose husband is still around. My father-in-law wrote a letter of consent to show that she's aware that her wife is traveling. So in another video, I'm going to make a list of all the documents that I use to support that application. But today is basically for, for people who are wondering what they're going to use as a family tie. Your siblings can write a letter to support that application. If you people have a home, even if it's in the village, is anywhere, you can, get the papers for that land and that house and add it to your application. I put the paper for that land, I put the pictures of the land and the house, and then the documents, the letter from my siblings, and I added it and I used it as a supporting document to her application.